Hello, hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well today or tonight, whatever time it may be in whatever part of the world you're in, or whenever you're watching this. If you're watching replay, thank you so much. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. This is our weekly Missing Person Monday live stream. We do this every Monday for the most part. There have been a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, we're here every Monday night at this time. And tonight, so we feature mostly cold cases on Missing Person Monday because not that, once again, if you're new here, not that I don't think that the current cases are not important. They absolutely are. Every missing person case is important, but there are a lot of other great creators out there that are just getting out these missing flyers and videos and shorts of these current missing, and it just seems like a lot of times these colder cases kind of get lost in the shuffle. So the main purpose of my channel is to try to bring some more more awareness, any awareness to cold cases. But I do short videos during the week of current missing. But anyway, we are glad you're here. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I worked Saturday. I took yesterday off, and then I went back to work today. So I'll probably work all week this week as usual, because sometimes I usually work on the weekends, at least on Saturdays, but I think it's supposed to be raining and or storming here in Arkansas again this weekend. So I'll just wait and see how the weather is. It is good to have everybody here. Miss Doodle was first. Hello, Miss Doodle. Good to have you here. Miss Lisa Joe is here. She was here second. Our Spice Girl is here. And I wonder which, if she's her usual Spice or a different Spice tonight. Whatever Spice she is, we love Miss Lisa Joe. Mr. James is here. Says, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for everything you do for everyone else. God bless you all. Absolutely. Absolutely. Always good to have Mr. James. Chris is here. Good to have Chris here always. Yep, Miss Doodle's back. Miss Paula is here. Hello, Miss Paula. Always a pleasure to have Miss Paula. She's our little, she always reminds me of that song, This Little Light of Mine. Miss Paula is that little light, that big light. She's a big light. Please do check out all the good creators, Miss Doodle, Miss Paula. I have to watch her morning short every morning. It makes my day. Always so positive, uplifting. We love Miss Paula. Nice to see. Yep, nice to see you. Absolutely. Yes, Chris says, Paula, you are one of the people who brightens everyone's day up. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's our Arctic. Hello, friend. How are you doing? I hope you and yours are doing well. Please do check out Arctic. Absolutely. Just don't want to miss anybody. Oh, comments just popped. Yes, Chris asked, how is everyone doing today? Like I said, I hope everybody is doing well. Doing well. Thank you, Arctic is getting links in. There's Miss Doodle's link. Miss Lisa says, are you covering Judith Brown tonight or Anita Toledo? I don't think I have either one of those in there, but I can definitely look at them for you and get something done. I think I have 5 cases tonight. Yeah, 5 cases. But I'll look at any case, missing person that anybody wants me to. You can comment on any of my videos or live streams. I always read my comments to suggest a case. You can also, if I can find the right banner, you can also email me if it'll come up. There it is, at southerngaltruecrime@hotmail.com. If you're on Facebook, you can Facebook message me. Absolutely. I will look into those, Miss Lisa Joe. Absolutely. Are you familiar with that? I'm assuming you're familiar with those 2 cases since you're mentioning them. Thank you, Arctic. There is Miss Paula's channel link. And thank you, Miss Doodle. Got in Arctic's link. Chris says Judith's case is crazy. I'll definitely have to look at that one. So that was, see if I can go back. Judith Brown. Maybe I went too far. Judith Brown. Interesting. I will have to check it out, or check both of them out. There's Nan R. Hello, Nan. Good to have you here. Absolutely. Check out Mom at Mind the Monsters. Wonderful, wonderful human being, wonderful creator, wonderful advocate. She does lots of good work. Yep. Lisa says, yes, Judith. I'm assuming you're talking about Judith's case is crazy. I'll definitely look into it. Absolutely. Check out Mr. Steve at True Crime Web. I finally got to make it too. He had a members only live last night. Yesterday evening, I finally got to make a live. I've been missing, but he hasn't been live a whole lot. He's been gearing up to go out on the road. I think he said in a few days, a week or so, he'll be going out on the road, starting his whatever cases. I think he said he's kind of winding down some cases, and maybe I think he said he maybe have taken on 1 or 2 new cases to look into. So just thoughts, prayers, and good vibes, always going out to Mr. Steve and whoever goes out with him for safe travels. But yes, do check out Mr. Steve. Oh, Doodle and Arctic put it in at the same time. You owe each other, pinch poke, you owe each other a Coke. Yes, absolutely. Check out Miss Kimber. Kimber Crimes. Miss Kimber is a wonderful person. Welcome, Julian. Good to have you back here. Nice to see you. Absolutely. Check out Miss Duchess. I know she had her Missing Flower Monday live stream earlier. It may still be going on. So I've been trying to schedule mine a little bit later, so I won't run over hers a whole lot. But I'll be replay crew as always for Miss Duchess's. She's another wonderful advocate, creator, missing persons advocate. She talks to a lot of family members to let them share their stories. She does good work over there. Miranda is here. Hello, Miranda. Always good to see Miranda. But she says apparently a missing man in Michigan was found deceased. Do you know what the name is, Amanda? I remember reading. It might be a completely different. That somebody who went missing off a boat was found deceased in the water. Now I don't know if that's the same one or not. It's probably not, but just whoever it is, thoughts, prayers, and good vibes to the family. Absolutely. Not the endings that we like. Let's see what's Miss Lisa Joe got going on. Waving hands. I can't tell. I can't see. I can't see anymore, even with glasses. Yes, always good to see Miss Miranda. Hello, Jody. Welcome back. Always good to see Jody here. Just getting everybody in. There is Seahawks fan, aka Miss Tandy. You're not watching wrestling right now? It's good to have you here. Always good to have Miss Tandy here. How's Tomboy doing? Oh, goodness. Always good to see you, Miss Tandy. But she's usually watching wrestling on Mondays. Not that I don't want her here. I absolutely do. But, I understand how watching wrestling is. Yes. Chris says all of them need attention. Absolutely. Arctic says he's trying to do a little of both. Let's see. Doodle's got her lovey face. We love Miss Doodle is one of my favorite humans. Absolutely. Yes, Lisa Joe is always fun. That's one way to put it. We love Miss Lisa Joe. Yeah, she's her usual Spice, which is a bitchy Spice. She says maybe a little sleepy Spice. Oh, but she's bitchy in a good way. She's a squeaky wheel. Yes, Chris says Lisa is a very smart, spicy lady. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's our friend Junior. Hi, Junior. Good to see you. One of our old timers. I don't mean that in a bad way. Junior's been here since the beginning. I've known Junior or known of Junior through other chats, mostly Mr. Steve, even before I started my channel. Always good to have Junior here. I hope you're well. And Miranda says, and University of Michigan and Michigan State University both made it into the Sweet 16. Congratulations to them. Yes, my Razorbacks somehow have made it into the Sweet 16 also. And I don't know when we play. I know we have to play Texas Tech. So I don't know when the game is. I'm thinking maybe Thursday, but I'm not sure. I think that's when the Sweet 16 round starts. So sometime after that. So hopefully we can pull off a miracle and beat Texas Tech. Let's see. Hold on. Everything just jumped. Okay. Thank you, Miss Lisa Joe. Julian is Judith Brown's cousin. Excellent. Well, we're glad to have you here, Julian. And I will absolutely look at, do some research, do what I can, do a live stream, a video, if you'd be willing to come on and come on here with me. And because I'm like Arctic always says, nobody can tell their family member's story like a family member can, or, anyone who has a missing loved one, their family member can tell it best. But if you're not comfortable doing that, that's completely fine. I will definitely get something together. Oh, yeah. Lisa, you keep changing your name. What is it now? Eljo? Okay. Y'all keep changing your names up on me. Yes. Arctic, yes. I'm not surprised that Arctic has covered her. Arctic is a machine putting out those videos. Thank you. Yeah, Julian says, hi, Dawn. Judith is my cousin, has been missing. I will definitely look into it. Absolutely. Arctic says, you can just play my video on Judith. Okay. Oh, goodness. So you're talking about Judith. Lisa Jo says she vanished with an offender who fled a psychiatric hospital. Okay. Okay. Oh, now, so Arctic says there's an Amber Alert for a 14-year-old autistic boy in Rowlett. Well, Rowlett, what state is that? For some reason, Texas comes to mind, but it's probably not right. Or if you give me the name, I can look it up right quick and share it. Oh, Duchess just finished up. Good. There's Miss Farr from Australia. Hello, Miss Farr. Good to have you here. Always good to have Miss Farr here. She's an angel. Junior says go blue. I know Junior's in Michigan, so he's a Michigan fan. There's Mustang 65. Welcome, welcome. Always good to have Mustang here. Let's see. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Hello, Alicia J. Welcome. She says Raquan Brown. Is that the Amber Alert? I'm hoping I'm saying that. Raquan Brown. Is that the Amber Alert? If so, I will look that up and share it right quick before we get started, because I do have a missing person quickly that I want to share from Arkansas too before we get into our cold cases. Just getting caught up in comments quickly. Yep. George Foreman passed away. He did. There's Tomboy. I was wondering where you were. I saw Miss Tandy. I asked her why she wasn't watching wrestling. Oh, of course, Miss Farr gifted one Southern Gal True Crime membership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Farr. So we get to put a cow in the pasture. Let me find the cow. The cow's missing. There it is. Thank you so much, as always, Miss Farr. Miss Farr throws out memberships, gifted memberships like Dave throws wrenches on his channel on Out on the Prowl. Please do check out Dave Out on the Prowl also. I have to apologize, and I did apologize to him in a comment on his video, but Dave always has his once a week or weekly live stream late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And I fell asleep during about the last hour of it. Not that he was boring. He's never boring. It's never boring between Chad and Dave. But I had a headache all day, and I just ended up falling asleep. But I went back and watched what I missed. So Dave may be popping in here saying that he's listening and driving. That's usually what he does. Yeah, exactly. Arctic says, the Razorbacks making it to the Sweet 16 is proof that miracles exist. I know. Honestly, I didn't think we would beat Kansas in the first round. I figured we'd be out in the first round, but we beat Kansas, and then we beat, who did we beat in the second round? And I watched about the last half of that game, and I can't even remember. Can't remember who we beat, but we ended up winning. So we make it to Sweet 16. Now, I don't know, because I don't keep up with basketball a whole lot. Football is my thing. But the only time I watch basketball is during, March Madness to watch the Razorbacks. Usually it's one and done for them. So I don't know how good Texas A&M is, their basketball team. So we'll see. We'll see how far it goes. Arctic has been a member for 7 months. Thank you so much, sir. So we get to put another cow in the pasture. Thank you so much, Arctic, for your continued support, your inspiration that you give me, advice, everything I've learned from you and everybody else who's been doing this way longer than I have. Always appreciate Arctic. Arctic is another one of my favorite humans. You are more than welcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are more than welcome. Miss PJ, or not Miss PJ, Miss Lisa Joe is, oh, really, about something. I don't know. Probably a conversation that I'm missing. She says she talks too much shite. I got to be more anonymous. Oh, are you in Burrito with your name changes? Yeah, you'll have to look on. I can't see it on StreamYard side. It should show up on the YouTube side. As far as does anyone see who got the membership? It should show up. It'll say whatever, whoever was gifted the membership, but I can't see it on my side. But whoever it is, congratulations. Congratulations. Texas. Okay. Was the name the Raquan Brown? Was that the name of the Amber Alert? I can probably just put in, let me mark that there. I can probably just put in Rowlett, Texas Amber Alert. See what comes up. Hold on. Let me punch it on my keyboard here. I'll try not to send us all out into the pasture. Okay. Is it Colton Cahan? Kahan? It says Amber Alert issued for 15-year-old who went missing from Rowlett. Hold on, I'll try to see if it'll let it share my screen. Give me 1 second. Share screen. See if how long it'll take to show up. Depends on my farm signal is actually very good tonight. Now that doesn't mean it's going to work. There it goes. There it is. Let me change layouts. Okay, let me. No, I don't want to check out the ad. Okay, so is it showing up for you guys? I can't tell. Amber Alert issued for 15-year-old who went missing from Rowlett. DPS issued a local Amber Alert for 15-year-old Colton Cahan, who was last spotted in Dallas's at Victory Park. And there is, I hope you guys can see it. Let me go take that comment down. That way y'all be able to see it better. Oh my goodness. Now my StreamYard's disappeared. What did I know? Oh, goodness. Anyway, my StreamYard's doing goofy things. A 15-year-old boy's disappearance has prompted a local Amber Alert. According to the Rowlett Police Department, 15-year-old Colton Cahan was first spotted around 7:52 a.m. walking away from the 4700 block of North President George Bush Highway in Rowlett. The department says he was last seen at 2525 Victory Avenue in Dallas. So I don't know how far Rowlett, however you say it, Rowlett and Dallas are. So he was seen on Victory Avenue in Dallas around 9:18 a.m. on Monday. In a release, Rowlett PD said Cahan has high-functioning autism, disruptive mood disorder, ADHD, and anxiety, making his safety a serious concern. Cahan was last seen wearing a gray shirt, blue shorts, and Crocs. The Texas Department of Public Safety issued a local Amber Alert for Cahan around 7 p.m. Monday. Anyone who has seen Colton is asked to call 911. So once again, let me put this picture back up there, right there. See if my StreamYard came back up. Oh, there it is. Take that down. Maybe there we go. You see it a little bit better. Oh, I know. Just when I said my signal was good, and it goes to crap. So thank you for whoever mentioned that first. Probably Arctic. So that's Colton Cahan. I'm missing or Amber Alert from Rowlett, Texas. All right. Stop sharing that. I'll go ahead and put my slideshow up. Let me get caught up in comments, and we will get started. Junior says he got to meet George Foreman and Muhammad Ali. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so that was the right one. Gotcha. Hello, Miss Mary Beth. Miss Mary Beth is back. Glad to have you back, ma'am. She is a new member, and for anybody who hasn't seen it yet or maybe new, I did a video on Lee Savoy. Lee Savoy is Miss Mary Beth's cousin. Lee went missing back in the 19. Shame on me, I can't remember the exact year. In the 70s, but I did do a video on him, and we've talked about him before. So it's good to see Miss Mary Beth here. Welcome, welcome back. Did I miss PJ? Miss PJ, hold on. Oh, I did. Hey, Miss PJ. I'm sorry I missed you. Always good to have Miss PJ here. Please do check out Miss PJ's channel. Excellent channel. Miss Dandy made it. She says, hello, everyone. My internet stinks today. Hey, you're talking to the girl, to the lady with the farm signal here. Okay, so the Raquan Brown, Alicia J says, Raquan Brown, that's the man that was found in Michigan. Okay, I will look that up. Absolutely. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Arctic. There is, if I'll come up, there it is. Miss PJ's channel. Tomboy is trying to fix a dumb sewing machine. Good luck. Good luck with that. Oh, I would love to meet Howard Cosell. Junior said he also met Howard Cosell. Oh, that voice from my childhood. Tomboy says, my daughter met Ollie at PDX Airport in Portland. She shook her hand and had a little convo with, oh my goodness. Oh, Allie. Wait, are you saying Allie or Ollie? I'm confused. Okay. Yes, thank you, Miss Sandy. I had a good weekend. Like I said, I worked Saturday. I took yesterday off. Went back to work today. Miss PJ, we're filling up the pasture, has been a member for 2 months. She says, love you guys. We love you too, Miss PJ. So another cow's going into the pasture. I almost gave Miss PJ the dumpster fire clip instead of the cow clip. It's not a dumpster fire yet. Not a big one anyway. But thank you so much. God, everything keeps jumping. Just when I thought I'd get caught up, but that's wonderful. We got 18 people in here. Thank you so much. We're fixing to get started, I promise. God, we're 30 minutes in already. People are going to start leaving. I just always want to welcome. Yep. Congratulations on the 7 months to Arctic. Miss Lisa Joe has been a member for 10 months. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you, Miss Lisa Joe. Thank you so much for your continued support. Let's see, I'm just going to get caught up really quickly, and I like that. Nan says, happy month anniversary. I like that. Okay, so Miss Tandy says Victory Park, which is where Colton was last seen, is where AAC is, where the Mavericks play. Busy area. Okay. Okay, so thank you. Arctic said Rowlett is a suburb of Dallas. Okay. All right. Miss Tandy says literally right off of 35. Tomboy says it's about 30 to 45 minutes depending on traffic. So how easy would it be for him to walk? Because I don't remember. I mean, did it mention anything about him being in a vehicle, getting into a vehicle with anybody, or just seen walking? Because I do know that Dallas is a very busy area. Absolutely. Just scary. Yes. Dandy says we're going to need to buy more acreage soon. Oh no, we've got plenty of pasture space out back. We're good. We're good. As long as the cows don't mind sharing the pasture with the horses, because some neighbors we let them keep their horses out in the back pasture behind our house. So if the cows can get along with the horses, everything's good. Yeah, I think Dandy is echoing because her comments are coming up twice. And apparently Dandy's thumbs are drunk. I understand. Lisa says just her thumbs. Absolutely. Junior says being a nurse and taking care of people is one of the greatest jobs in the world. Absolutely. There's Michelle C. Hello, my dear. Good to have you here. Mustang says texting under the influence. Better hope Mr. Steven lurking somewhere. Somebody's going to be in trouble for texting under the influence. Okay, so Tomboy says going back to Colton, the missing is about an hour and a half if he takes the train. Gotcha. Lisa Joe says soaking your thumbs in vodka. Okay, we are caught up. So before people start leaving here, we will get into our cases. I just want to make sure I got everybody welcomed in and got all that taken care of. Oh, before we start, one more thing. Let me find it. We do have, it was on the news. I got home. I was probably watching the 6 o'clock news after I got home and got cleaned up. But we have, they did an interview, and I did. It was from THV 11, one of our local news stations. Talked to a family member. So THV 11 put it up on their YouTube channel. I shared it on my community tab here and on Facebook. Please watch it, share it, help bring this gentleman home. But this is Jody Pennington, and I just got these two pictures off the Facebook post. It says this is my bonus brother, Jody Pennington, He's currently considered missing. He's from the Jacksonville, Arkansas area. Last communication with him from his roommate and social media post was around March 11th. So that is what about, what's today? Almost 2 weeks now. It's the 24th. If anyone has seen him or know his whereabouts, please contact me at 870. It said her bonus brother at 870-285-1113, or his brother Bernie Pennington, or friend Shannon Duke Ward, or notify the Jacksonville Police Department. Call 911. Always call 911. Please pray that he is okay and just out of communication at this time. So there's a few, 3 pictures of him. And then apparently, from what I understand, he is in his truck. So there's a picture of the truck and the license plate. And I'll post these after we get done here. I'll post these 2 pictures on Facebook. Well, they're already on Facebook. I'll post them on my community wall here on YouTube, and try to find out some more information. Oh, is Junior? Junior's heading to bed. Thank you, Junior. He says he's heading to bed. If I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture. I love that, Junior. One of the many reasons we love Junior. Thank you, Junior, for stopping in. Absolutely. We love Junior. Yep, everybody's telling Junior good night. Okay, so I'm going to mark right there. Unmark those. Make sure I didn't unmark that. Okay. So we will get to our cases. Oh, I got to take this down. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So first, and I have, instead of, I think, I have 4 videos, and I managed to get them loaded in. Hopefully I have them in order, and we'll play the right ones when the time comes. But I actually found videos on 4 of the cases. One of the cases I can only find an article, so you won't have to sit here and listen to me reading for a hour and a half, 2 hours. But this is Kellisue Ackernecht, and I'll have to go back to her information. So, well, it takes a sweet time. Kellisue has been missing since September 30th of 2008 from Amsterdam, New York. She is a white female. She was 35 years old at the time she went missing. She'll be 52 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 5'10" and 135 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Said that she may wear eyeglasses with tan frames. She has red highlights in her hair, pierced ears, and a patch on her right cheek. Some accounts spell her name Kellisue with a Y, I believe, instead of an I. Kellysue. And her maiden name is Kilcullen, Kilcullen. She was last seen wearing a black shirt, tan slacks with a black patch on the back, a Rite Aid apron, new pink and white size 8 sneakers, tan stockings, earrings, 2 necklaces with 3 diamonds on each, a watch with a black strap, and a wedding band on her left hand, and she was carrying a black purse. It also says that she was prescribed medication for depression, but she stopped taking it before she disappeared. So Kellisue was last seen leaving her job at the Rite Aid pharmacy in Amsterdam at around 9:30 p.m. on September 30th, 2008. She worked as a shift supervisor there. At 1:53 a.m. the next day, her dark green 1998 Saturn Aura sedan with New York license plates was found in Frog Hollow, which is just off West Montgomery Street in Johnstown, New York. And this was just 3 blocks from her home, but they said that it was not on a route that she normally traveled. The car was on fire when it was found, so red flags there, definitely. It was completely destroyed. Neighbors had called the police about shots being fired in the area at around midnight. There was no sign of Kellisue at the scene. She has never been heard from again. Authorities initially thought that the vehicle fire was an arson, but now they think that it could have been an accident as the car had been having radiator problems. Now, I know the basics about cars, but would a radiator problem, well, yeah, because if you don't have water in the radiator, I was going to say, would a radiator problem cause a car to completely catch on fire? Kellisue lived with her 8-year-old daughter, her husband, and his parents when she disappeared. Her marriage was troubled when she disappeared, but her loved ones stated that she would never have left without making arrangements for the care of her daughter. Her social security number has not had any activity on it since her disappearance. Her husband is not considered a suspect in her case. Unfortunately, her parents are deceased, but she does have a close relationship with her siblings. And it says Johnstown police are investigating Kellisue's disappearance, which remains unsolved. So if you have any information about Kellisue's case, you can call the Johnstown Police Department at 518-736-4020. And like I said, let me go back over here. I think I have videos for all but one. Just make sure I didn't have all right, so I am going to play the videos and I will be back. Or play the video when I will be back.
Good evening, I'm Liz Bishop. A possible new lead in a 2008 cold case brought investigators to a home in Johnstown. Police were searching for evidence tied to the 2008 disappearance of Kellisue Ackernecht. CBS 6's Brianna Supardi spoke with her daughter tonight, and she reports from Johnstown for just how this latest search unfolded.
For more than 16 years, the disappearance of Kellisue Ackernecht weighed heavily on her family and the community. But today, a search of this home here on West Main Street in Johnstown gave them a glimmer of hope for some answers. But the search came up empty. Acting on a search warrant, state and local police combed through the multi-family home for evidence that could shed light on what happened to Kellisue Ackernecht, who vanished in September of 2008. Located on West Main Street in Johnstown, investigators were hoping for a break in the case.
That house is just like 5 or 6 houses up the street from where we lived.
We've spoken with Kellisue's daughter, Ashley, in the past as part of our Evidence Room series. On Monday, she told us that police contacted her in the morning, letting her know about the search warrant. Though the home is located near the home she grew up in, she says it's the first time she's hearing about it.
It's not familiar to me at all. It's apparently a home of a possible boyfriend of my mom's at the time. That's really the only thing I know.
Do you know if the person still lives in the home?
He does not live there anymore. I'm not sure where the person is currently at the moment.
Do you know the person's name?
I do not know, no.
Police were seen at the home for hours, but Ashley says the search yielded no new evidence.
With anything like this, I'm hopeful for some sort of answer, so it's a little disappointing, but I just hope that it brings more attention and then makes somebody want to speak up.
On September 30th, 2008, Kellisue Ackernecht vanished without a trace. Around 9:30 p.m. that night, she closed up the Amsterdam Rite Aid where she worked. She and a coworker then walked out to the parking lot before going their separate ways. A few hours later, around 2 a.m., her charred car was found near the family home in Johnstown. I reached out to state and Johnstown police for more details about the search of the home, but I have not yet heard back. Despite coming up empty today, investigators say that every lead counts. They urge anyone with information, no matter how small, to contact them. Reporting in Johnstown, Brianna Supardi, CBS 6 News.
First on 13, police searched an apartment building in Johnstown last week in connection with the disappearance of Kellisue Ackernecht. Kubi Tucker tonight is talking to Kellisue's daughter.
Ashley Ackernecht stays strong.
I've just kind of had to be. I don't have any siblings, but I also wouldn't want to wish this pain on anybody else.
Last week, police searched outside and inside 310 West Main Street in Johnstown, where police say a person of interest used to live at the time of Kellisue Ackernecht's disappearance. Police say his number is on the phone records from the day she went missing and the day before.
Being right up the street from the house, I was like, oh my gosh, that's literally like 5 or 6 houses up.
Kellisue was last seen on September 30th, 2008, leaving work at the Rite Aid in Amsterdam. Hours later, on October 1st at about 2 a.m., her car was found on fire in Johnstown. There was no purse, no phone, no sign of Kellisue. Her only daughter, Ashley, was just 8 years old at the time. She's now 25. She's always heard how much her mother loved her.
It really just hurts more than anything, because I believe that too, you know. Of course, there is always going to be a theory, because you don't know that maybe she did leave, but complete strangers who don't even know me, they just message me on Facebook or they see me on the street. Oh my God, all of your mom would talk about is you. You know, so I find it just so hard to even try to begin to fathom her leaving.
She's asking anyone with information to come forward. She thinks about her mother every day.
Songs, smells, you see something, a certain color, certain car, you know, anything. It's just like, you know, losing, you know, a loved one, somebody, you know, passing away or something like that. It's just all memories.
In Johnstown, Kumi Tucker, News Channel 13.
All right. So that was Kellisue's daughter. Just every time I read or see an interview with family members, it's just so heartbreaking, especially since she's an only child. An only child. Hopefully she does have a support system around her. All right, let me get caught up in your comments. We'll move to the next one. Nope, Dandy, I don't think you're still showing up twice. Okay, Chris says you're not. Chris said, should they check the Mohawk River? Or is you talking about this case or the Amber Alert? Oh, apparently, Artie says, oh my God, people blowing me up tonight are going to cause me to catch a case. Well, Lisa Joe is tempted to message Arctic. Leave Arctic alone. Don't give him an aneurysm. We need Arctic around. We want Arctic around. Oh, goodness. There's Miss Peggy. Hey, Miss Peggy, good to see you, ma'am. Better late than never. You're fine. We just got started. As usual. We just got started. That was our first case we were covering. Our first cold case we were covering. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, the case. So is the Mohawk River close to? I know nothing. Nothing about New York. I'll say nothing about the. I mean, I know the rivers, but I've never heard of the Mohawk River. But I don't know that I'd ever heard of Amsterdam, New York, until I looked at this case either. So, all right, I think I'm caught up. All right, so, all right, next we have Patrick Kennedy Alford Jr. Wait, hold on. Chris says the Mohawk River is close to Amsterdam, New York. Okay. Then, yeah, definitely. Is it a big river? Big river? Thank you, Chris, for that. All right, so let me get Patrick's information. Can't see. So Patrick went missing on January 22nd, 2010 from Brooklyn, New York. He is a biracial black Hispanic male. He was just 7 years old when he went missing. He will be 22 years old today, and I believe the age progression photo there, the smaller picture, is age to what he would possibly look like at 16. At the time he went missing, he was 4'8" and 65 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. He does have a scar on his left eyebrow and a birthmark on his abdomen. His nickname is Lil P, and he is of Puerto Rican descent. So Puerto Rican, that would be the, because it said African American Hispanic, so Puerto Rican descent, Puerto Rican African American descent. So Patrick was last seen in the New York City borough of Brooklyn at approximately 9 p.m. on January 22nd, 2010. He had been placed in a foster home in the Spring Creek Development Complex, also known as Starrett City, 3 weeks before he went missing. And it said the Spring Creek Development is in the 100 block of Vandalia Avenue. So Patrick told his foster mother, Labrada Moran, that he planned to run away to rejoin his biological mother, Jennifer Rodriguez. Patrick was last seen assisting Moran, his foster mother, with household chores. He took out the trash. He went outside to take out the trash, and he never came back inside. And after that, he has never been seen or heard from again. So his mother, Jennifer, who lives in the Staten Island, lost custody of Patrick and his 4-year-old sister for alleged neglect. She reportedly knew the address of his foster home, and her aunt claims that she had threatened to kidnap Patrick. A few days after Patrick's disappearance, a judge ordered her, Jennifer, the biological mother, to present her son at a family court hearing. She did not do so, stating that she didn't have Patrick and she did not know where he was. She was briefly jailed for contempt, and then she was released after she passed a polygraph test. She still maintains her innocence in Patrick's disappearance, stating that she believed that he did run away and is hiding somewhere. Various other members of Patrick's family, including people as far away as Maryland and Florida, have been investigated in his case. And apparently several of Patrick's relatives have accused each other of hiding him. In October of 2010, Rodriguez, the biological mother, did file a federal lawsuit against New York City, the Administration for Children's Services, Patrick's foster mother, and the foster parents' apartment complex. She alleged that the ACS took Patrick from her custody without sufficient cause, and that they were negligent when they placed him in an unfit foster home instead of with relatives such as his father. So Rodriguez alleged that Labrada Moran, who was a foster mother, could not communicate with Patrick because she did not speak English and he did not speak Spanish. Make sure I got that right. Yeah, she didn't speak English. He didn't speak Spanish. And that Patrick had repeatedly tried to run away. Apparently, he had attacked his foster siblings, and he even threatened to harm himself after he was placed in the foster home. So a federal judge threw out the suit that the biological mom had in March of 2011, but ruled that Rodriguez could sue individual caseworkers and St. Vincent's Services, which apparently was the child care agency in charge of Patrick's case. In 2013, Rodriguez amended her filing to include a claim for her son's wrongful death. She stated that she filed the suit to get answers in her son's disappearance. That suit was settled for $6 million in August of 2018. And supposedly that money will be used to aid in the search for Patrick and to benefit him if he is located alive. And it says that Patrick may still be in the Brooklyn area and his case remains unsolved. So if you have any information on Patrick's case, you can call the New York Police Department at 718-827-3551. So this is one, and I don't say this in a lot of cases, and obviously I don't know for sure, but this is one where Patrick may still be alive and well out there somewhere. But, you know, we hope always. So well, I do have a video to play. So while I'm playing the video, along with your other comments, put in chat whether or not you think he could possibly still be alive out there somewhere. So I will play his video. Hopefully I will get the right one. I think I have them all in the right order. And I will be back.
Sadly, Patrick Alford is the best known missing child in New York City since Aton Pates vanished in 1979. Patrick wanted to go home to his biological mother and disappeared on January 22nd, 2010.
Seven-year-old Patrick Alford went out to throw out garbage and was never seen again.
It's the case the NYPD Missing Persons Squad won't quit, producing this video just before Patrick Alford's 19th birthday last November, with age enhancement photos trying to capture what the boy would look like now.
We're here today at 130 Vandalia Avenue, Brooklyn, New York.
The Spring Creek development in East New York has 46 buildings, and this is the 11th floor hallway where 7-year-old Patrick was last seen on January 22nd, 2010.
7-year-old by the name of Patrick Alford.
He and younger sister Jaylene were staying with a foster mother who didn't know much English.
He was very unhappy there. They wasn't getting along.
In the beginning, police suspected Patrick's biological mother may have taken him. She had been struggling with mental health issues. But Jennifer Rodriguez passed a lie detector test, and she had told Pix 11 about her last supervised visit with Patrick in mid-January 2010.
He was throwing the chair, and then he was like, you know, reaching out to the window. I want to come home, Mommy. I want to be with you. I want to be with you. His spirit was broken. Patrick wasn't Patrick. He was like so destroyed.
The child's father, Patrick Sr., was shot in the head and partially paralyzed 2 years after the boy disappeared. The dad claiming people thought he had hundreds of thousands in reward money stashed in his house. Ray Kelly was the police commissioner when Patrick disappeared.
We have conducted 14,000 interviews, have entered 9,000 apartments.
Convicted sex offenders among the people questioned. Police dogs tracked the boy sent to a nearby bus stop. The reward money for information leading to Patrick Alford's whereabouts skyrocketed to $250,000 in 2019 after a $6 million trust was established for the missing child, with money awarded in a federal lawsuit. The executors of the trust erected a huge billboard on Pennsylvania Avenue near the complex where the boy vanished. But so far, no takers. At one point, a portrait sculptor, Michael Everett, created this likeness of Patrick that was put on a mannequin in a Soho boutique. It highlighted the search for Patrick, but once again, there were no results. So a familiar appeal continues a dozen years later.
If you have any information, you can anonymously call Crime Stoppers.
At least one investigator who's been looking at Patrick's case for years said the boy may have been taken out of the country. Patrick's mother has left New York City and now lives in another state. She now faces another painful anniversary of her son's disappearance.
All right, so that was pains me, makes me want to cry. But I don't know. In my opinion, it's possible he's out there. It could be. They say he could still be in that area, but I think in the Charlie Project information didn't say they had investigated relatives as far away as Maryland and Florida. totally plausible that he could be, with some of those relatives alive and well. That's just my opinion. I don't know, obviously, for sure. That would be best case scenario, obviously, that he's alive and well out there with somebody who's raised him, loved him, taking care of him. How to say, he would be what, 22 years old now. Okay. Yes, Miss Farr says, what a beautiful smile, beautiful eyes, prayers for Patrick and his family. Absolutely. I know, just that kills me with these kids. Kills me. These little faces, these little babies. Julian says it's so hard when they go missing from the city. Yep. Chris says, I know that Rodney Alcala has victims from New York that have never been identified. Absolutely. Prayers for Patrick and his family that they get some answers. Absolutely. Miss Nan says, what a beautiful boy. I always hope that I will recognize someone. I have a few people that I share your cases with. Thank you so much. Yes. Most important thing anybody can do, everybody can do, is share. Share it anywhere and everywhere you can to bring as much awareness as possible. Yep. Danny says, so many missing children that are in foster care. Shaking my, yeah. And it's kind of sometimes, in my opinion, catch-22. I mean, we hear obviously on the news, the bad foster care experiences, the bad things that happen. There are good foster homes out there. So if they don't have a family member who's fit, to take care of them, then sometimes foster care may be better than, and I know I'm probably going to get shit for saying this, sometimes if it's a good foster home, sometimes foster care is better than, if they don't have any fit relatives. But because my baby brother and sister-in-law, the sister-in-law who passed away, they couldn't have kids of their own. So they applied to foster, and they had to, got put through the ringer, rightfully so, with all the background checks and the, given a kidney, to be able to be approved to foster. Like I said, rightfully so. I think anybody who's going to be foster children should be vetted to the nth degree. And then you have these cases where a child is taken away from a parent who may have a substance problem or been in, really not fit, and then they go to rehab or get out of prison, and they say, oh, I'm fine now, I'm rehabilitated, and they give the child right back, and then something bad happens. So it's, it's catch-22, in my opinion. Arctic says it's definitely possible that Patrick could be out there somewhere. Julian says it's only possible for him to be alive if someone abducted him, hopefully a family member, not a stranger. Absolutely. Yeah, because like I said, family members accused other family members of hiding him. In this case, I wouldn't maybe normally say that was a good thing, but I think in this case that would be a good thing if a family member did take him, or, I don't know. It's just a hard situation. Nan says, I think there's a chance that he could be alive, and I certainly hope that he is and that he is well. Yes. Dandy says he took nothing with him when he left but trash, says, in my opinion. Yeah, I said he went outside to take out the trash and never came back in. So I'm sure, hopefully, well, I'm not sure because I don't know. Hopefully they checked out any, because it is also possible that he went to take out the trash, because usually when you take out the trash, you put it out by the road so it can be picked up. Possible somebody snatched him then, let's hope not, but possible someone could have snatched him. So hopefully they looked into that angle also. As Paula says, there's a chance But New York City can be dangerous. Absolutely. I don't think, unfortunately, I think these days, anywhere you live, whether it be a big city or a small little farm town, farm community like I live in, is dangerous. We just had on the local news, I heard on the radio actually, that in excuse me, North Little Rock, which is the closest major city to where I live, apparently U.S. Marshals got into a shooting with somebody at one of the gas stations. So I mean, but Little Rock, I get nervous going to North Little Rock and Little Rock now, and I used to, back years ago, it was nothing. Thankfully, we don't have to go to the big city very often, because I'm always looking around, because you just unfortunately never know, what can happen. Julian says New York City. I can't use my words tonight as usual. New York City isn't that insanely dangerous. Yeah. Julian says unless they're so young they don't know how to cross the street. Yep, I think, like I said, in any place there are going to be dangerous places, in any city, town, little hamlet that I live in. Julian says, I don't think Patrick is alive, even though it's more likely than most other cases. Arctic says, I couldn't move if my child was still missing, but that's just me. Julian says, I don't think I could move either unless I was convinced that they were deceased. Yeah. Yeah, I've read about a lot of these cold cases that the parents, I mean, they will, even though they may want to not be in that particular house or town or city or whatever, they will not move out of the house. They will not change the phone number just in case their missing child or whoever it is comes back, calls. They stay there. But then there's also other cases where, they do move because they just can't, I guess, with the memories and the stress, stay in that house or that, town or that city. Dandy says, in her opinion, he's either no longer with us or in another country. Yeah, I think at the end of that video, it was mentioned that someone, an investigator or somebody, had made mention that he could be in another country. Nan. Yep, Miss Nan's from New York. Says, I live in New York, and it depends on the area where you are. A friend of mine lived in Brooklyn, and it was a very safe part. A lot depends on who he met up with. Brooklyn is physically part of Long Island. Miss Peggy says, if my child were missing, I'd probably need to be sedated. I would be so crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, that is true. Miranda says foster care seems to suck and kids go missing from foster care. Yeah, it just seems that whenever a lot of times when children get into the foster system, just somehow they just end up falling through the cracks. I think we just did a case, maybe it was on True Crime After Dark Friday, and we've talked about more than one about how a child was put in the foster care system and nobody even knew they were missing. I think we talked about one Friday that a social worker actually reported the child missing like 6 years later. I forget what case it was now. 6 years later. It's just horrifying. But yes, there are definitely some good foster parents. Yes, I can tell you, and I'm not being biased when I say this, my baby brother and sister-in-law would have been excellent foster parents. They love kids. They would have been perfect, good foster parents. But yeah, there are good ones out there. And I think there are more good ones out there than we think they are because, like I said, just due to the nature of social media, mainstream media, everything is negative for the most part that gets reported. So, but there are good ones out there. I agree. Arctic, sorry, my nose is itching. Once again, allergies and dust. Nan says, I couldn't move in that circumstance either. That's very odd and sus. Julian says, I live in Queens. I know there are less safe parts, but I've never had horrible things happen to me or my friends and family on the street. Arctic says, I would handle it just because I'm used to dealing with these cases and helping parents through them. Yep, Dandy says, foster care can be good for a child in crisis, but many are not. Absolutely. Nan says, my aunt and uncle took in a few foster children and gave them good homes, but they didn't stay long enough. They took in some babies, took pics for moms who did take them back. Yeah, because going back to my baby brother and sister-in-law, they ended up, but they did a in vitro twice. It didn't work, so they ended up adopting my the youngest nephew when he was 8, and he's 18 now. But he had been through the foster system, and then he had actually been adopted by one of his blood relatives. Very bad things happened, bad situation there. So that it was actually, I think, one of his aunts. So they ended up was going to give him back, but before they could give him back, he was taken out of their home, thankfully. Yeah, thankfully, most of the foster, or at least one of the foster homes that he was in, took like baby pictures and bunches of pictures, had bunches of pictures of him, some of his baby toys, and just keepsakes that they kept in a chest, and just sent it around. Basically, I gave it to his social worker, his caseworker. And so when my brother and sister-in-law adopted him, they got that chest with baby pictures of him and baby toys and just keepsakes. So there are some good ones out there who will do stuff like that. Absolutely. What is Mr. Okay? So Chris said, for Mr. Cruel is a case that I'd like to see more about. I have not heard of that one. Dandy says she is in a city of 70,000 people. There's over 300 registered SOs within a mile of our home. Oh, yeah. You would be terrified. Anybody would be terrified, because I think there is an app or a website where you can go to and put in where you live, and it will give you a map, a list of all the registered SOs in the area. Even in the small town I live in, there are a lot. It is absolutely terrifying. Yep, it is scary. Paula says, could he have been adopted and the foster parents don't know? Possible. I said in all these cases, anything is possible, but because you have to have a paper trail, paperwork for adoptions. And now, unless it was an illegal adoption, if it was a, under the table black market adoption, possible. But if it was a legal adoption, there would be some kind of paperwork, there would have to be paperwork. But like I said, yeah, Dandy Echo, yeah. Dandy says that's only the registered ones. Oh, you're talking about the SOs. Okay. And Miss Peggy says she's thought about looking up how many SOs are around me, but haven't. I'm telling you, it's scary. It is scary. All right, I think I am caught up, so we will get moving. So the next one is Heidi Marie Allen. Get her information. Okay. So Heidi has been missing since April 3rd of 1994 from New Haven, New York. She's a white female. She was just 18 years old when she went missing. She will be 49 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 5'9" to 5'11", 145 pounds, with light brown hair and blue hazel eyes. She has a 1-inch scar on her right knee and a freckle-type birthmark between her buttocks. Her ears are pierced. She wears contact lenses or eyeglasses with what they call Renaissance metal frames. She was last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt with a plaid SU logo printed on the front, light blue jeans, size 9 or 10 white sneakers, and possibly an 18-inch gold chain necklace with a heart and diamond pendant. So Heidi was employed as a clerk at the D&W convenience store, and located at the intersection of New York State Routes 104 and 104B in New Haven, New York in 1994. She opened the business by herself at approximately 5:45 a.m. on April 3rd, 1994, and the last transaction was recorded on the cash register at 7:42 a.m. So basically 2 hours later, that was it. She was whatever happened to her had happened. A passerby flagged down a sheriff's patrol unit outside of the store at approximately 8:15 a.m. and reported that the business was open but unattended. An extensive search produced few clues as to Heidi's whereabouts, and she has never been seen or heard from again. The ensuing investigation revealed that Heidi was most likely taken against her will from the store. Her jacket, purse, and car keys were left behind in the store when she vanished. Her maroon station wagon was undisturbed in the parking lot, and money was found in the cash register and on the counter. So apparently it wasn't robbery, or you would think that. So there's a lot to this, or a lot of suspects. So Richard Thibodeau was charged with Heidi's kidnapping in May of 1994, which was 1 month after she disappeared. And Richard's brother, Gary Thibodeau, was arrested on the same charge in August of 1994, 3 months later. Richard was the last customer known to be in the store before Heidi vanished. He says he purchased 2 packs of cigarettes at around 7:30 a.m. and left. So that would line up with, because it said the last transaction that was recorded on the cash register was at 7:42. Gary was convicted. Gary Thibodeau was convicted of first-degree kidnapping in Heidi's case in June of 1995. He was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Richard was acquitted. So, which one of them said that? So Richard he admitted that he went in there to get cigarettes. So it was Richard that said he went in there to get cigarettes. So Richard was acquitted of all charges in September 1995. So Gary was convicted. Richard was acquitted. Gary attempted to appeal his conviction, but he was denied in 1999. And he says he was expected to remain incarcerated until 2020. So I've got to follow up and see if he was released. So prior to her disappearance, her cousin Melissa Searles had given Heidi a gold bracelet with her name on it. Searles stated that the bracelet mysteriously turned up inside an envelope in her mailbox in 2004. But she didn't tell the police or anyone else about it for years. Now, I don't know. People have their reasons, but I don't know why she would not have told the police. It says the reasons for her silence are unclear. Heidi's abduction got additional attention in the summer of 2014 when investigators dug up the floor of a collapsed cabin looking for her body, and the video that I'm going to show talks about that. They did not find anything in the search, however. Her mother passed away in 2015 at the age of 66 on what would have been Heidi's 40th birthday. Heidi was about to graduate from, I hope I'm going to pronounce this right, Onondaga Community College with a degree in human services when she disappeared. She hoped to have a career in education or counseling. Foul play is obviously suspected in her disappearance. So if you have any information regarding Heidi's case, you can call 888-349-3411 or 800-724-8477. And I think I did actually have maybe a brief article also, because I think in this article, her boyfriend, I believe, had actually been in at some point that morning, had been, when she opened the store up, had been in there with her. Let me see if I'm correct. Get a drink first. So this is from Syracuse.com. It is from April of 2024. For 30 years, it's been the biggest question in Oswego County. Where is Heidi Allen? It's a question that has been, ads. Let me get rid of the ads. Hold on. If they'll go away. There we go. Ads pop up. The question has appeared on signs posted across the county. At one point, it was on balloons lining the ceiling of a church. On her 19th birthday, it's been asked in 2 trials, countless articles, and TV specials. Yet 30 years later, it is still unanswered. Heidi Allen disappeared from the New Haven gas station where she was working on Easter Sunday, April 3rd, 1994. Heidi was an Onondaga Community College student who was working at the D&W convenience store. The morning started early with Heidi opening the store at 5:50 a.m. Her boyfriend of 2 years named Brett had followed her to work in his pickup truck. He told this just to the Syracuse.com Post Standard in 1994. So apparently Heidi stocked shelves and rearranged the deli counter, and he read the Sunday paper and drank coffee. Said he was looking for interesting articles or funny cartoons, and he would call Heidi over, and the two of them would laugh together at the cartoons. He says everything was picture perfect that morning, just like us. We are the perfect couple. Mary Duell told the paper in 1994 that she went into the store that morning and found Allen and Law smooching. She said Duell liked the young couple, so she teased them. Now look here, we're not having any of this in the big town of New Haven on Easter morning. Heidi told her that she knew Duell was coming in and did it just to bother her. So just chit-chat banter back and forth. So Law, the boyfriend, told Heidi he loved her and would call her in 2 hours after getting some more sleep. Duell and Heidi chatted, talking about the girl across the street who was moving out of New Haven, about Duell's chickens, about Heidi going to her boyfriend's house for Easter dinner. Duell, who lives next door to the store, bought a newspaper and left around 6:45. So about an hour later, the store was empty. Heidi's keys and purse were on the counter. Her maroon station wagon was in the parking lot. Like we said earlier, the last transaction recorded on the cash register came at around 7:42 a.m. 2 packs of generic cigarettes. So that would have been whichever one of the Thibodeau brothers, I say Richard, that most likely was that transaction. Dave Stinson flagged down a sheriff's deputy and said the convenience store had no cashier. Police said it was likely that Heidi was abducted in just 5 minutes. Just like that. Within hours, a command post was set up at the New Haven Fire Department, and law enforcement started combing the county for the teen. Vigils were held for her. At the first candlelight vigil, less than a week after her disappearance, her 4-year-old cousin addressed the crowd. The boy said, "Heidi will come home. The lights will show her how to come home." Oh my God. It breaks my heart. So Heidi had attended Mexico High School, where she played varsity soccer. At times, people wore orange and black, which are the colors of the school, a symbol of the search for Heidi. So the two men, like we talked about earlier, Richard and Gary Thibodeau, were arrested. They had actually helped search for Heidi, according to a newspaper article. Gary Thibodeau was convicted of her kidnapping, sentenced to 25 years to life in 1995. We talked about the appeal. So he passed away in 2000. Gary passed away in 2018 at age 64 from complications of COPD. Richard Thibodeau faced a different jury. He was acquitted. For years, he spoke out about his brother's conviction, claiming that Gary was innocent. At times, Richard and others held signs on lawns in Oswego County about his brother's innocence. And then Richard, so Gary passed away in 2018. Richard passed away at 77 in January of this year. So I'm assuming, or 2024. That's when this article was written. Heidi has been assumed deceased for several years, but her body has never been found. In recent years, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released an age progression portrait of Allen. I believe that is the smaller picture there on the slide. In September of 1994, Heidi's family marked her 19th birthday. Her mother, Susan, said at the time, "Until you physically know something, you have to keep hoping. You know in the back of your mind that it may not be a good ending, but you must remain hopeful." Absolutely. So that was just a little more information that her boyfriend was there for some time. He left. And then after he left, that is when it happened. It said it happened in the span of 5 minutes, which is just terrifying to me. Right, so I do have a video, about a 5-minute video, and then I will get caught up in your comments.
The big question remains tonight, where is Heidi Allen?
It's the only unsolved homicide in Oswego County.
Allen's disappearance Easter morning.
Though 20 years have passed since Heidi Allen's disappearance on April 3rd, 1994, this anniversary hasn't gotten any easier on a mother who lost her 18-year-old daughter just before her graduation.
20 years later, I still don't have Heidi. And I want that closure.
Life has gone on in New Haven, but standing outside the gas station convenience store where her sister disappeared, Lisa can't help but think of everything she's missed sharing with her baby sister.
It's challenging because, anyone with a sister knows that sister bond is different than anything. So you have plans. You see her friends get married, have kids. She didn't get married. She didn't have kids.
But despite the passage of time and countless dead ends in the case, New Haven hasn't given up on Heidi.
I've never given up hope, and I still haven't. I do believe that at some point in time, I may not be sure, I may not even be alive, but at some point in time, I really believe that there will come a time. We have the DNA, we have everything there that we need, that if we can, we will identify her and bring her home.
Brothers Richard and Gary Thibodeau were tried for her kidnapping. Richard was acquitted. Gary is serving 25 years to life for the kidnapping, a charge that included a presumption of murder. Heidi's body, however, has never been found.
It's a
a night of light and it's a night of hope remembering Heidi Allen.
2 decades have passed, and despite the mystery in this community, there's no shortage of hope in New Haven. I'm Kelly Cowan reporting.
Now, new information has led investigators to a wooded area in Mexico that could potentially fill in some gaps in the 1994 disappearance of Heidi Allen. Federal Public Defender Lisa Peebles says they received a tip from a nearby neighbor that there was a cabin just across the street near Rice Road where Allen may have been buried. When investigators arrived on scene, it was clear that the scene was tampered with.
What looked to be an area that was recently torn up, including wood, floorboards, mattresses, various other debris. And it appeared, based on what we saw, that it had recently been disturbed.
Peebles says she does not know when the area was torn up, but finding these new details could bring us closer to what actually happened.
It really coincides with what Tanya Priest had originally told sheriff's investigators when she was interviewed about admissions made by an individual named James Steen as to what they did with Heidi Allen.
Investigators were here for the past couple of hours, and since then they have left the scene. But we do know now that they're placing a deputy here overnight just to make sure the scene is secure. And tomorrow morning they will start a more detailed search. Reporting in Mexico, I'm Sarah Beth Ackerman.
My daughter from Auburn called me and said, I heard lots happening on Rice Road. Are you aware of it?
Walter Rice's owned property on the sleepy road that bears his family name for decades. But now his 5-acre lot and 6-car garage has suddenly become the focal point of a brutal murder investigation tied to a kidnapping case now 2 decades old.
I guess he got evidence that it happened in my garage part where it was ended up in her life. So it did upset me.
Rice recalls hearing about the kidnapping of 18-year-old Heidi Allen in 1994 while living in Florida. At the time, Rice was renting a trailer he owned on his 5-acre property on Rice Road to Jennifer Westcott and her family. According to newly revealed information, Westcott's boyfriend at the time, James Steen, and 2 other men brought Heidi to the garage on Rice's property and beat her to death. A witness says Steen bragged about the men dismembering her body in the garage before moving her across the street to bury her beneath a cabin in the woods.
It's hard to believe that something like that could happen.
Rice, who's followed the Heidi Allen case closely, including the trial and conviction of Gary Thibodeau for her abduction, is now deeply disturbed with the new revelations.
20 years later, that possibly the wrong guy's in jail for 20 years. And the party that's still buried somewhere, that you're still looking for her after 20 years. That upset me too.
Investigators will continue their search for Heidi Allen's remains in the woods along Rice Road tomorrow morning. Reporting from Mexico, I'm Kelly Cowan.
Okay, so that was actually about 3 shorter video clips that I just put together into one big clip. I thought it was interesting because it did not mention it in the Charlie Project information, but we know how Charlie Project information is sometimes, that apparently this witness had given this statement to police about some men. It mentioned Gary Steen. It didn't mention any other names. Possibly, and I'm sorry, I forgot the trigger warning about that when they were describing what happened to her. Possibly has something to do with it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that more. But it's just sad case, obviously. Let me see. Absolutely. Chris says thoughts and prayers for Heidi and her family. Where did Doodlebug go? There's no telling where Doodlebug is or what she's doing. She may be lurking. Oh, goodness. I agree. Miranda says women should not work alone in convenience stores or gas stations, not being sexist, but there are just too many predators. I agree. I remember years and years ago, my mom, when worked at one of the local gas stations, she worked the late shift, sometimes overnight shift. I think it's maybe the 3 to 11 shift. And I would, of course, our local, small town, everybody knows everybody. So the local police would come by all the gas stations and check and come in and, but a lot of times I would go up there and sit with her while she was working, late. It is very scary because we live on, our town is situated right on I-40, major interstate, runs across the whole U.S. Lots of bad things go through. So, you never know. You cannot be too careful. Oh, I understand what you're saying. Dandy says, not that I'm above any job, but I'd never, as a tiny woman, work in a gas station yet. Yep. And I even worried about, because after my mom worked there, when she went to work somewhere else, my baby brother worked at the same gas station. And I mean, he's a big old boy, Daniel, he pops in here every once in a while. Not Echoes, he's the middle one. Daniel's the baby, but he worked there, late shift, overnight shift, and I would worry about him too. So, but at the time, he and my baby and sister-in-law were dating, not dating, so she was always up there with him when he was working. And at that time, her dad was chief of police, so if he was working, he would be up there too. So, but I still worried about him too. I worry about anybody working alone in that situation. Yeah, Miss Peggy says nobody should work alone. Paula says, if you're talking about Heidi, is it possible she is deceased? Unfortunately, always want to hope for the best, but unfortunately, I think she probably is deceased. Yes, that's the question I had. Once again, not judging or blaming or shaming, but Miranda says, why didn't the cousin turn in the envelope with the bracelet to have it tested for DNA? I wondered the same thing. Absolutely. And in the Charlie Project information, it said the reasons for her silence were unclear. So apparently she didn't tell anybody why she didn't say anything. I'm just getting caught up. Yeah. Where it says COPD from all that smoking. Yeah, because one of the Thibodeau brothers passed away from COPD. Oh, hold on. Everything jumped. Where is it? Yeah. Miranda says, if the two men were together, then they both abducted her. Yep. So I don't know why one. Now I forgot. So one of them did serve time, was convicted of kidnapping her. The other one was acquitted. So, and I think it was the one that actually went in to buy that admitted that he went in to buy the cigarettes. He was the one that was acquitted. It was the other one, the other brother, that was convicted, if I remember correct, if I'm keeping them straight. Yeah, I don't either. Miranda says, I don't think the boyfriend is complicit. I don't either. Welcome, GFK. Good to have you here. Good to see you. Says that means they were watching for the boyfriend to leave. Entirely possible. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us tonight. That's a new name for me, at least. Thank you for dropping in. There's Miss PJ. Hello, Miss PJ. She says, this seems familiar. I feel like deja vu. Like another case like this that you've heard about. Yep. Miranda says, wonder if they tested that area for DNA or blood in the garage. You would hope they would. Yeah, when they were in that video clip, they were talking about apparently in this gentleman that lived in this garage, who at the time that this happened, I think did it say he was renting out the property? They searched the garage. You would hope that they would test. And then across the street is where the cabin was, that said that, I think the lady said that it was, had been torn up and moved. It looked like something had been moved. Possible, just thinking here, speculating a little bit, that maybe her body was buried there. And then when all these police came in or said that they were going to start searching there, that whoever did it came in and moved the remains. I'm just speculating, but yes. Nan says she's been listening as she had to do a couple of things. These stories are so sad. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. Nan says my friend worked in a convenience store and her boyfriend GSW'd her in the store. I lost so much trust. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Miss Nan. That is horrible. Miranda says a serial offender in Muskegon, Michigan, abducted a woman from a gas station, and her remains have never been found. But he got caught when another woman he abducted escaped. His name is Jeffrey Willis, and he's serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Good. He needs to be there, in my opinion, for the rest of his life. Oh, Doodle's back. She was hiding. Chris said he's familiar with that name. I might have to look it up. All right, I'm caught up. So I think we have 2 more cases. So I'm going to mark there. So this is Herman Arbas. Let me give his information. And I think this is the only one I was not able to find any kind of video, but I do have an article. So Herman has been missing since October 27th of 2000 from Lawrence, New York. He is a white male. He was 63 years old when he went missing. He will be 88 years old as of 2025. At the time he went missing, he was 5'9" and 180 pounds with gray hair and brown eyes. It says he may be bald or his hair may be cut very short. And it said at that time he may have been suffering from mental illness. Herman was last seen on October 27, 2000. He lived on a 384-acre dairy farm in the 1300 block of County Road 10 in Lawrence, New York. He has never been seen or heard from again. But he was not reported missing until May of 2005, which was 4.5 years after the last time he was seen or heard from. Herman got divorced in the 1990s. He ran his farm together with his son Matthew, which that smaller picture on the slide is Matthew, because he comes into play in this case. According to Herman's brother, Herman had become increasingly paranoid over the years. He believed that the FBI was spying on him. His brother theorized that Herman suffered from mental illness and went into hiding to get away from the perceived government spying, government surveillance. So Matthew, his son, told the neighbors that Herman had become a truck driver, but police later found out that this was not true. He admitted that he and his father did not get along. Matthew filed a suit in August of 2000 seeking co-ownership of the farm, but Herman, his father, did not want to give it up. The last time that Herman was seen in public was on October 27th of 2000. He was last seen leaving a local eye care facility. He had an appointment with his attorney the next day, but Matthew called the lawyer and canceled it. So I find it interesting that the son called and canceled the appointment. May just be me. Matthew ran the farm by himself for a time after Herman disappeared, but he sold the last family herd, so it was a cattle farm, in 2004. Matthew was arrested and charged with an unrelated kidnapping and assault in 2005. He apparently attacked a man whom he thought was having an affair with his wife. He pleaded guilty to abduction and unlawful wounding. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but all but 1 year of that was suspended. So I guess he spent 1 year in prison out of 6. This was in Virginia Beach, Virginia, where Matthew had moved with his family after Herman's disappearance. While awaiting the resolution in that case, Matthew was additionally charged in New York with forgery, larceny, and scheme to defraud. Authorities believe that he stole around $60,000 from his father's accounts by forging his father's signature. He started writing checks on Herman's account in early November of 2000. In 2002 and 2003, he also visited banks disguised as his father, which caused confusion as to just when Herman disappeared. So that indictment was dismissed due to a technical problem, but Matthew was re-indicted in August of 2009. In February of 2010, he was found guilty of 3 counts of forgery. He was sentenced to 6 to 18 years in prison. So none of the charges are connected to his father Herman's disappearance. Authorities believe that Herman disappeared under suspicious circumstances. They have searched his property 3 times, but they found no trace of him. But in how many acres? 384 acres is lots of places. On the 384 acre farm, because I don't think we have near that many acres. There's lots of places that you could, just saying, there's lots of places that you could hide a body on lots and lots of acreage on the farm. Herman's relatives said that he often went for long periods of time without contacting them. He was described as quiet, reclusive, hardworking. He has 5 children. He divorced his wife in 1996. She is now deceased. His case remains unsolved. So if you have any information on this case, you can call the New York State Police at 607-561-7400 or 607-432-4844. I believe I just have an article with maybe an interview with some of the family members, maybe some of the other children, if it doesn't put a paywall on me. So this is from the Virginian Pilot, and it is from August of 2019. Farmers at 9-year disappearance stokes fears that he is deceased. No one has seen Arbas, a dairy farmer from Lawrence, New York, since 2000, police said. If they've gone missing for 10 years, it's rare that they are found alive again, although it does happen, said Captain James E. Barnes, head of the New York State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Some people intentionally do not want to be found. With his reclusive lifestyle, Arbas would have made the perfect victim, said Otsego County District Attorney John Mule. Mule says, if you're going to take somebody's life, Herman was the person to take because nobody missed him. So Arbas, I'm going to get rid of some ads. Arbas was last seen on October 27, 2000, but he was not reported missing once again until May 5th of 2005. Daughter Beth Stevens said she knows how it looks. She says, how can years go by without someone's family noticing that they're gone, without someone's family, without someone's family noticing they're gone, but they had just lost contact, and she assumed that everything was okay because her brother was on the farm with him. But I don't know if I would trust the brother, which is Matthew. Just my opinion. In the 1970s, Stephen and her 4 brothers and sisters lived on the family dairy farm. On the 380-acre plot, Arbas taught them how to work the fields, drive a tractor, and milk a cow. Sounds familiar. More importantly, he instilled in them the value of hard work. Sorry, it's jumping on me. In her lifetime, she can remember him taking only 2 days off, one for each of her 2 sisters' weddings. She said, some men are just made to be providers for their family. That was Dad. And I can tell you, come from a farm family, my grandparents, my uncles, it's running a farm is 24/7, 24/7, except on Sunday. Went to church on Sundays. But then again, sometimes when it was either planting season or harvest season, it depended. It depended on if you were behind in harvesting or planting, you might not make it to Sunday school. But anyway, she said he had a good head for business. Or no, Herman's brother James said that he had a good head for business. Said Herman's brother James, who started the dairy farm with him around 1970. When he left the farm in 1993, the farm was debt-free. As the children grew up, married, and moved away, Herman Arbas remained, rarely venturing far from home except to buy supplies. When he and his wife Mary divorced in the late 1990s, the family splintered. It became increasingly difficult to reach Herman. He did not carry a cell phone and was almost always outside. But she received regular updates through her brother Matthew, who had returned to help work the farm with his wife Catherine and 2 sons. Matthew's sister-in-law Andrea visited the farm in 2000, shortly before Herman's last sighting. It was almost a utopian farm life, with the men taking care of the animals and the land, and Catherine caring for the children in the house. So Matthew's sister-in-law says everyone woke up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd hear the eggs crackling or the bacon cooking. It was just a normal working farm. Everyone did their part. Yes. But relationships on the dairy farm had soured. Herman and his son Matthew had begun feuding over whether to use a certain pesticide, said Mule, who's the district attorney. When they couldn't resolve the fight, Matthew filed suit in August 8th of 2000, seeking ownership of half of the farm. During a court hearing that fall, Mule said Herman pleaded with the judge, saying, it's my life. I cannot lose my farm. On October 27th of that year, Herman was seen in public for the last time, leaving a local eye care facility. He had an appointment with his lawyer that day, but as I said earlier, Matthew, the son, called and canceled it. About 5 days later, Matthew began writing checks from his father's account. And once again, nearly 5 years passed before Herman was reported missing. Matthew and Catherine Arbas maintained that Herman had been home on the farm for all those years. But are they the only ones that said that he was there? Police combed the farm for traces of Herman, but came up empty. Detectives still make regular checks of national databases, hoping that he will pop up one day. He never renewed his driver's license. He never applied for Social Security or touched any of his bank accounts. But Matthew forged his dad's signature on those accounts, or to get money out of those accounts. Matthew submitted a change of address form linking his father to the local address. His wife and 2 sons lived there, and Matthew would visit from the farm, said Scott Vaccaris, who is a Virginia Beach prosecutor. His wife Catherine teaches art therapy at a school there. During one of those visits in April of 2005, Matthew learned of a possible relationship between his wife and a Navy pilot. He went to the pilot's home, lured him outside, held him at firearm point, stuck him with a needle, beat him up, according to the pilot's court testimony. Matthew returned to New York, and a few weeks later, Herman was reported missing. While searching the farm, police found the Virginia Beach pilot's checkbook, and then they later arrested Matthew. He was extradited to Virginia Beach, where he did plead guilty in January 2007 to abduction, unlawful wounding. He was sentenced to 6 years with 5 suspended. A jury in New York found Matthew guilty of 3 counts of forgery for pretending to be his father at banks in 2003 and 2004. It says on those occasions, he powdered his hair and wore his father's clothes and glasses in an effort to make withdrawals from his accounts. So I just talked about how he was scheduled for sentencing. So it says everyone has a theory about what happened to Herman. His brother James said Herman had developed schizophrenic behavior and may have decided to go into hiding. Possible, but with all this sketchy stuff what the son was doing, unless Herman did go into hiding, so then Matthew just took that opportunity to pretend like he was his father to get the money. So Herman's brother said he did have some mental problems. He was always saying that the FBI was spying on him. I don't know why the FBI would be interested in a dairy farm. Sorry, ads popped up. Beth Stevens says she doesn't know, and I believe that's one of his daughters, says she doesn't know what to think. She says, I just don't know. I want to believe him. He's my brother, she said of Matthew. After Herman disappeared, the family dairy farm deteriorated, according to Mule. When New York State Police started their investigation, all of the animals had either passed away or been sold. Stephen, his daughter, said it breaks her heart to know the farm, her childhood home, and her father's legacy has been abandoned. She hopes to take her son there to visit this summer, although it just won't be the same without Grandpa. Oh, this breaks my heart. At the minimum, Stephen said she wants her father's disappearance to serve as a cautionary tale for other families. She said, for anybody else who's out there and they lose contact with their family members, don't do it. Just take the action to get in touch, because we all wish we had done more for Dad earlier. We didn't know. So just sad story, obviously. But yeah, I definitely have some questions about the son, about Matthew. But let me see what you guys are saying. Get back down to where I was. Lots of people have snuck in on me. Good to see people coming in. Hold on. Okay, there I was. All right, thank you, Chris. Chris said he sent me an article on Jeffrey Wheeler. Oh yeah, okay. That must have been a notification that popped up on my phone. Thank you so much. Miss Farr has got her red flags out. Absolutely. If Miss Marion was here, she'd have her red flags out. Yeah. Arctic says if they had hogs, they'll never find him. Yeah, I'm telling you. I can't remember right now exactly how many acres we have. I know it's a lot. But yeah, there's lots of places that you could hide. I mean, not trying to be morbid or or crass, but yeah, there's lots of places on a farm that you can hide a body with no problem. But so they had a dairy farm, which is what our family did crops and raised cattle and chickens. Didn't have any pigs. Oh, going back to, was it Heidi's case? Miss Peggy said, one of my sisters worked late shift at the gas station convenience store. That really worried me. Yeah, she's not anymore, thankfully. Absolutely. It's just so dangerous. There's Sunday Doodles. Hello, Sunday. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sunday Doodles. Do. I think somebody else snuck in. I just might not have made it down. Dandy asked, anyone ever heard of Faye and Ray Copeland? Those names, yeah, that sounds familiar. Most definitely. Yeah, Miss Peggy said the name sounds familiar. So Dandy says it's an old Missouri case. I was close. It was close to my town. Scary stuff. I'm gonna have to look it up. So what was again? Faye and Ray Copeland. Oh, so they were the offenders? Hold on. Make sure I'm not confused. Dandy says they were convicted of taking the lives of 5 drifters at their farm in Mooresville, Missouri. So the Copelands were the offenders. I'm definitely going to look into that. Look at that. Oh, wow. At the ages of 69 and 76, respectively, the oldest couple ever sentenced to the DP in the United States. Wow. Maybe that's why it sounds familiar to me. I'm going to have to look at it again. There's Miss Barb. I knew somebody had snuck in on me. How are you doing, Miss Barb? I hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you. Please do check out Timmy's Legacy if you're new here. If you've not heard of the case of Timmy D's, just get on YouTube and put in Timmy D's. Lots of stuff will come up. I've done lots of stuff on Timmy. Arctic's done it. Doodle. Everybody around here has done live streams, videos, interviews with Miss Barb about Timmy's case. Miss Barb is still fighting for justice for Timmy. And we are right behind her. We've got her back. Absolutely. Yeah. Doodle says they were quite the couple, weren't they? Goodness gracious. 69 and 76, and they off 5 people. Wow. Miss Peggy says she's heard of that one. Dandy says she didn't think it was just 5. Yep, Nan. Oh, that's sweet. Nan says she was thinking about you, Miss Barb. Doodle says they only found 5. So once again, a farm, right? I'm telling you, lots of places to hide bodies on farms. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. And she made a quilt from some of their clothes. Or it sounds like one of those truth is stranger than fiction. Goodness gracious. So we get caught up, and I think we have one more case. I'm sorry, Amanda. There's Miss Doris. Hey, Miss Doris. How are you doing? She's our local New Yorker around here. We're doing New York. Good to see you, Miss Doris. Always good to see Miss Doris. Get caught up. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. If anybody else snuck in on me, or if I missed any questions or comments about the cases. Thank you so much. Arctic got in Timmy's Legacy link. Please go over there, subscribe, share, watch, do all the things. Yes, absolutely, Miranda. We are here for you. We're here for everybody. especially our community members. Yes, Miss Farr is always sending love and light. I love that. Yep. Julian is a local New Yorker also. We got lots of New Yorkers in here. I think Miss Dor, or not Miss Doris, Nan, I think is from that area too, I believe. If I'm there was an Amanda here earlier. I don't know who you're talking about, who said it. There was an Amanda here earlier. Okay, so Arctic says the Copelands were like Dorothy Pointe. They targeted people that nobody would be looking for. Thank you so much. Sending love from Arkansas right back to you. She says she's sending love from New York City. Sending it right back to you. Some Arkansas love. Some Southern love. Yes. Hey, I was right. Yeah. Miss Nan is from so we got Miss Nan from New York here, Miss Doris, Julian. We got lots of New Yorkers here. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Let me mark that. And we'll get to our last case. Oh, means I can turn my camera back on. So this is Corrie Lynn Anderson. Let me get her information. All right. It'll come up. There it is. So Corrie has been missing since October 28th, 2008 from Jamestown, New York. She is a white female. She was 36 years old when she went missing. She'll be 52 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 5'11", 170 pounds with blonde hair and green eyes. She wore wire-rimmed eyeglasses. She has a surgical scar in the center of her abdomen and a surgical scar on her knee. Her ears are double pierced, and her hair is naturally light brown. She was last seen wearing just as a black leather jacket and black corduroy pants. So Corrie was last seen at Lake City Dodge on Washington Street in Jamestown on October 28th, 2008. She stopped there to visit her boyfriend, then left at around 1:10 p.m., driving her dark blue 2005 Dodge Caravan. Corrie missed a scheduled meeting at 3:15 p.m. that day, and she also did not pick up her son from school. Items found at her home suggest that she did go home after leaving the car dealership, and after that, she has never been seen or heard from again. Her car was found abandoned on October 30th in a rural wooded area off Courtright Road, which is south of Jamestown. It was parked near a gas well out of sight from the road. It says this location is just about a half a mile's walk or a 2-mile drive from her home. So apparently, you could walk a half a mile as a crow flies, as we say down here, or drive 2 miles. So Corrie was in the process of divorcing her second husband, Kenneth, when she went missing. They had separated approximately 2 years before, and after Corrie found out that he had never legally divorced his previous wife, and I have about a 10-minute video actually that gives all the details in this case. So by the time of her disappearance, Corrie was seeing another man and planned to marry him in 2009. Corrie told her loved ones that Kenneth, that there was DV in the relationship, and she took out an order of protection against him after he allegedly placed a tracking device on her car. He was arrested in 2007 for violating that order. He was placed on probation. Corrie's fiance is not a suspect in her disappearance, but Kenneth is considered a person of interest. Police questioned him and searched his home. Apparently, they didn't find anything in the search. Kenneth married again for the 6th time after Corrie went missing. In 2016, he was charged with kidnapping, unlawful imprisonment, and SA after he allegedly took his new wife from New York to Kentucky against her will, SA'd her, held her captive in a hotel room, and threatened to take her life if she tried to escape. So, not the understatement, not a good fella here. So Anderson's purse disappeared. Corrie's purse disappeared with her. It has never been located. Authorities are interested in finding it. It is described as a black 8-inch by 8-inch in size with a G.H. Bass and Company logo. Her keys are also missing. Her disappearance is considered suspicious, as it's extremely uncharacteristic of her to leave without warning. Her cell phone has been turned off since she went missing, which is also uncharacteristic, they say, of her behavior. She left behind 2 teenage daughters and a young son. She was described as a devoted mother. She worked from home as a medical transcriptionist and part-time as a technical assistant at the Hultquist Library at Jamestown Community College in 2008. She has been known to visit Pennsylvania, and her case remains unsolved. So if you have any information in Corrie's case, you can call New York State Police Troop A at 716-665-3113. I think I might have had just a short article about some searches that were done, volunteers. So this is from WKBW, and all the links to all the articles and videos that I use are in the description box. So if the videos aren't coming through clear, the links are there. You can watch the videos. Most of them are from YouTube. But this article is from, when is it from? October of 2024. 16 years ago, Corrie Lynn Anderson, a 36-year-old mother of 3, vanished without a trace. She was last seen at about 1:10 p.m. on October 28, 2008, leaving a car dealership in Jamestown. But her loved ones knew something was wrong when she didn't show up to pick up her 1st grade son from school. 2 days later, her van turned up off of Courtright Road in Boosty, but there was no sign of Corrie. A group of volunteers with WNY Missing and Unsolved Persons held a search in the area where the van was found. Mary Williams Dyers of WNY Missing and Unsolved Persons told the group of volunteers, "I can't promise we're going to find Corrie, but we're going to promise to try." So the volunteers wore orange safety vests and gloves. They trudged through the woods and the brush. They used machetes to cut through grass and metal detectors to look for signs of Corrie. Among those who volunteered was Wendy Mull. The remains of her sister, Marquita, were found off of a trail in the town of Portland in Chautauqua County. She hopes that her sister and others whose lives have been taken violently can see the volunteers trying to find justice for them. So I just wanted to read this because volunteers are just so important, and just, give freely of their time to help search for these missing persons. Mole said of her sister, "If you're in heaven looking down, know that somebody is fighting for you." Amy Schaefer moved away from Chautauqua County, but was in Ohio when she heard about the search. She decided to come back because of her connection to Corrie. She says, "Corrie's son and my son were both in a 1st grade classroom together, and the day that she went missing was the day that she was coming to the school to meet me and the teacher to plan the Halloween party later in the week, and of course she didn't come." Daniel Cook, another volunteer searcher, was Corrie's pastor at Lakewood Baptist Church when she went missing. He says many things are possible, but with God, all things are possible. And so we just believe that he's going to eventually lead us to something that's going to reveal where Corrie is at and hopefully be able to find the person eventually that was responsible for this. The case remains open. Investigators with the New York State Police ask, once again, anyone with information about the case to contact them at Troop A in Jamestown at 716-665-3113. So I just wanted to read that little bit about the volunteers. So important. All right, so I do have, this clip is about 10 minutes, but it gives lots, just interviews with all the family. I think her mother, her two daughters, and just gives some more information about Kenneth, the husband. So I will play it and be back.
Chapter in a tale of marriage, deception, bigamy, and ultimate tragedy revolving around Corrie, a much-loved 36-year-old librarian in the small upstate New York town of Jamestown.
She was an awesome mother to her children. She was a great daughter, a sister. She was a wonderful person.
And everyone who knew her was devastated when she suddenly vanished without a trace 8 years ago.
My world stopped, but everybody else's keeps going, and that's hard.
I don't care how old, they're always your babies.
I miss her laugh, and I miss not talking to her, because we were more than just sisters. She was my best friend.
It was particularly hard on Corrie's children, who say they lost the best mom in the world.
She was so loving and caring and put herself last in everything.
I try and look up to how she was to kind of guide my life in a way.
But there was one thing about Corrie her family didn't like, and that was her other half. Ken Anderson, whom Corrie met online after her divorce from her first husband, the father of her two daughters.
From the very beginning, I had an awful feeling about that man.
We never got along. All the memories I have of him, he's always been very controlling and manipulative, very his way.
The way he presented himself, I could tell he wasn't true. He wasn't right.
But Corrie had fallen in love with Ken at first sight, and they were married within months.
He mesmerized her.
Corrie and Ken would have a son, Zachary, now 14, and for a while they seemed happy.
But then it started falling apart.
The longer that they saw each other, the harder it got, because I feel like that's when she started realizing who he truly was.
And their marriage would collapse when Corrie made a shocking discovery while looking through some of Ken's papers. He wasn't really her husband. He was a bigamist who never divorced his previous wife, his fourth.
And everything started coming out.
A horrified Corrie managed to track down Ken's first wife, Stephanie Anderson, who had married him when she was just 16 and pregnant with the first of 4 children they had together.
To me, with Ken, there's just an evil about him. You look at him and you see evil.
Stephanie told Corrie horror stories about her 12-year marriage to Ken, whom she claims would padlock the doors when he went to work in the mornings and leave her captive in her own home.
There was no way to get outside until he came home from work.
She also alleges Ken often beat her and once threatened to kill her.
He had thrown me on the bed and put the gun up to my head. And he said, "I'm telling you, if you don't shut up, I am going to shoot you." And I said, "Do it. Do it." I said, "I'm so tired of this. Just do it." And he threw the gun to the side of the bed, picked up a pillow, put it over my face.
Stephanie says she became so afraid of Ken that she took the children and finally left him to save her own life.
I have said more than once that if I didn't leave, I'd be dead. I firmly believe that.
And she says she advised Corrie to leave Ken too, for their own safety.
The only thing I could tell her is, you've got something. nail him because I figured for sure he'd go to jail for bigamy.
Ken escaped that fate, but learning the terrible truth about his apparent dark side may have been too much for Corrie, who had reportedly told her family he had also abused her.
And she called and she said, "Get me out of here."
Their marriage wasn't even really valid at that point, and Corrie was pretty upset about that, so she left.
Everyone's been through a nasty breakup, but the one between Ken and Corrie Anderson went nuclear.
In Corrie's mind, the relationship was over. She was already moving on. She had recently met another man.
And they were talking about getting married.
But Huffington Post crime reporter David Lohr, who's covered the case from the beginning, says Ken wouldn't let Corrie go so easily.
It would appear that, you know, in Ken's mind, he wasn't finished with Corrie yet. He wanted to try to continue to be with her.
He was begging, you know, "Please talk to me. I love you." Same song and dance.
Was your mom afraid of him? I would say yes. Absolutely.
Corrie had left Ken after she learned he was a bigamist who never divorced his previous wife.
Therefore, legally, Corrie was not married to him.
And she'd found a new man.
And they were talking about getting married.
But Ken reportedly wanted her back, and Corrie claims he was stalking her.
She felt he was coming into the house when she wasn't home.
She had called the police several times because he perpetually drove by.
Stuff would be moved around in the garage.
Corrie's worst fears were confirmed when she discovered Ken had attached a GPS device to the underbody of her car.
He allegedly was tracking her movements.
It was scary to know that he knew every place she was, when and where. It was very scary.
Corrie reported Ken to the police and was granted an order of protection.
He was arrested for that, and about 2 weeks later he was arrested again for violating the court order that was issued after the first arrest.
Then, as the formal dissolution of their marriage approached, Corrie would suddenly vanish.
You believe there was foul play?
I do not believe she left willingly.
New double serum. Visible anti-aging results in 7 days. The power to change your skin's future.
Corrie was reported missing when she failed to pick up daughter Shannon and son Zach after school.
It appears that would have been out of character for her to miss something with her children.
Everyone's telling us that she's going to be there and everything's going to be all right. But in my mind, something's not right.
I cried the whole way home because I knew that she was gone. I knew.
Shannon called friends and family, but nobody had seen or heard from Corrie.
It was so strange because all day I had such a weird feeling.
And Corrie's mom, Vicky, says she's still haunted by something her daughter had told her just days earlier.
She had said, if something happens to me, we take Zach.
Police say the last person known to have seen Corrie was her boyfriend, when she dropped off some lunch for him at the car dealership where he worked.
He was as alarmed as anybody else. He was very forthcoming and to what time they spoke, so he provided us with a lot of information.
Police say Corrie told her boyfriend she was going home.
We believe she reached her house because some items that she had at work were found at her house.
Then, 2 days later, Corrie's van was found abandoned in a secluded wooded area about a mile from her home. And more alarms go off.
There was no indication that she decided to just up and leave. And if she did, she's not going to leave her vehicle a mile away.
Corrie's family immediately suspected Ken might have something to do with her disappearance.
I wouldn't put anything past him. Knowing him for that long and seeing his personality and seeing who he truly was as a person, I don't feel like he would stop at anything.
But police could not connect him.
We spoke for a number of hours, and then the next day he hired an attorney and said any further interviews would have to be done with the attorney.
Have you been able to talk with Mr. Anderson since?
We spoke to him briefly with his attorney, and that was just at the station regarding some property.
That's it?
That's it.
The case would go stone cold for the next 8 years.
We didn't find any clues. There was no leads. There was nothing. It's hard to move on because you still always have that, well, what if this happened? Or what if this happened? It's always that questioning that makes it hard.
It took me a few years before I would let anybody sit in Corrie's seat at our table.
Then police would uncover some new clues.
We've located some evidence. We secured that. We sent it to our lab. It's still being processed, and we're hoping for the best.
And just last month, a huge and unexpected break. Ken Anderson would be arrested on charges of kidnapping his sixth wife, whom he'd married after Corrie vanished, allegedly taking her from Jamestown, New York to Richmond, Kentucky, raping her, holding her against her will in a hotel room, and then reportedly threatening to kill her if she tried to escape. Now, police are hoping they may uncover new information from Ken about what happened to Corrie.
We've been in contact with the authorities in Kentucky, sharing information. So if there are leads developed out of this, we will follow them.
And while police have made no connection between the Kentucky case and Corrie's disappearance, news of the arrest has at least given Corrie's family hope they may finally learn what became of her.
My heart raced a million miles an hour out of my chest. I think that this is the start to the end. I think that hopefully they're gonna find some linkage to both of the cases.
It could only be good to help my mom's case, to hopefully get closure, to get answers.
I just want to have the closure knowing, is she out there or isn't she? Because as a mom, I'll always hope.
Okay. Show of hands if you think Kenneth the Creeper, bigamist, is way up on the list. And I was popping your guys' comments, some of you guys' comments up there. I wanted to go back to, because Arctic and Chris had two good points. Let me find them. I bookmarked them. Gotta find them. Yeah. Arctic said, that's not the signature of a creeper putting a tracker on her car, right? Along with the bigamy and the how many ever wives he had. And let's see. And Chris, let me find it. Says Kenneth sounds really creepy, and I wonder if all his wives are accounted for. Excellent point. Because they talked to the one that I think that was the sixth one that he married after Corrie disappeared and took to Kentucky and everything that happened there. But what about the other 5 or 4? I would like to know that too. That is an excellent point. Miss Paula said she should have been with someone younger. Just gonna go back through and make sure I didn't miss. Yeah, Denny said he cheated on her but wanted her back. Loser. Absolutely. Yep. The grass is greener. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. As Paula said, I was on Mom's last night, and for a minute the stream was disabled. Yeah, I think she posted something on her community tab. It's something about a copyright issue, but I think they clipped out whatever it was, and it's back up, I believe. Yep, definitely psycho, allegedly, in my opinion. Yep, Arctic said 6 wives is a red flag all in itself. Absolutely. Miranda says, so is Kenneth in prison in Kentucky? I don't know. I would hope. I would think, since it happened in Kentucky, that he would be in prison in Kentucky, and I watched the video when I was screen recording it, but I don't remember if it said, and I was trying to keep up with you guys' comments while the video was playing. I don't remember if it said where he was in prison at. Yes, very sad. Yeah, Chris says 6 wives is more than a red flag. It's a bigamy problem. Absolutely. Julian's still here. Far's still here. Everybody's waving. Yeah, Miss Barb says he sounds like a narcissist. Most definitely, in my opinion. Mustang 65 is still here. Yep, Dandy says it'll come up. Come on. Oh, well, where'd it go? There it is. Says I can't handle one man and a child. How do these people do it and get by? I know. Miss Paula's still here. Oh, good. Yeah, so definitely Kenneth the Creeper is #1 suspect. But yeah, Chris, when you said what about his other wives, I would like to know that too. Now, I did not make mention in. I'll try to find some more articles about this to see if it says anything about any of his other wives going missing or being unaccounted for. Thank you so much, Mustang. Absolutely. Justice for Timmy D's, always. Miranda says, I like Chris and Arctic. That's about it. All right. I think that is the last one I had for the night. So, hey, we're just 2.5 hours. We did good tonight. Yay. So if anybody's got any more questions, comments, thank you, Miss Nan. Oh, Miss Nan says my phone is almost out of juice, so it's nice seeing everybody. I hope to see you soon. Good night. Thank you, Miss Nan, for being here. Yeah, we're fixing to get out of here. Thank you, Miss Barb. Thank you, Miss Doodle. Thank you for all your hard work, for everybody's hard work. Creators, community, it takes all of us to get this information out. Absolutely. You're very welcome, Miss Paula. Thank you. Everything's jumping. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Miranda. Always good to have Miranda here. Thank you so much, Mustang. Good to have you here. Thank you so much, my friend. Absolutely. See one more time before I forget. Far gifted the membership. Arctic has been a member for 7 months. Miss PJ is a member for 2 months. Miss Lisa Joe is a member for 10 months. Is that all of them? Okay, I just want to get those in there again. But thank you so much for everybody being here. I talked about I'm still mulling it over, about doing a West Memphis 3 live stream, maybe Thursday. As long as we don't have a repeat of anything that happened when we were discussing some West Memphis 3 Friday night. But that's what I have all you wonderful people with wrenches in here for, is to take care of things like that. So if I have time between work and everything to get, I think we're going to talk about Jesse Miss Kelly and the Dan Stidham's new book that came out, kind of look at that angle. I got to find some place to dig up some information, get into these websites and get some information. I know some of Jesse's background and trouble that he got into before this case happened. But I will just want to have all my ducks in a row and look at everything and see what I can put together. So maybe we'll try to do that Thursday. Get back down to your comments. I forgot where I was at. Thank you so much, Mustang. Oh, I think I already started that, but that's fine. Miss Paula wants to know, I don't know if you're talking to me. What do you listen to music right now? I'm listening to everything. Whatever's on the radio. My classic rock, my hair bands, whatever. Thank you so much, Chris. Chris says, thanks so much for a non-drama live stream. Absolutely. That's why I'm debating about the West Memphis 3 thing. Because apparently some people can't be civil. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Thank you, Miss Peggy. Appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, I probably so. Thank you once again, Miss Peggy. Thank you, Miss Farr. I love it. Stay safe, love and light all. Justice for communities. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, Miss Doodle will be there. She was my, and that really, I'm not going to mention the person's name, but anybody who was here Friday knows who it was. And that really surprised me. Well, kind of. It kind of surprised me and then kind of didn't. Because I have been in other chats on other channels with him before, and it's kind of, but I don't know, just it's perfectly fine. And the issue I had was, not to get off topic because I'm going to be here all night, was not so, I mean, it's fine to not, we can agree to disagree on whatever, it doesn't matter what case it is, agree to disagree. But the thing that I do not tolerate is somebody telling somebody else that they are ignorant or uninformed or don't know what they're talking about because they have a different opinion. That's disrespectful. So, but like I said, Miss Doodle was there to take care of it, and I appreciate her and everybody else for that. So anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Thank you so much, Miss Timmy. Miss Barb. Got Doodlebugs link in there. Yeah, I think it was kind of close to the end of live stream Friday night. The Dan Stidham, who was Jesse Miss Kelly's lawyer back in the day, when the trial was going on, Dan Stidham, he put a new book out a few months ago, giving his theories about what happened. I think he's actually like a judge or something now. Arctic may know too if he's still here. But yeah, Dan Stidham put a book out, but he was Jesse Miss Kelly's lawyer at his trial. So he hasn't put a book out. It's called, I keep forgetting what it's called. Hold on, I'll have to look it up. A Harvest of Innocence, the Untold Story of the West Memphis 3 Homicide Case. That's what the name of the book is. Gives his theory on who the offender was or could be. Yep, Mustang says just keep the evil trolls out of chat and you'll be fine. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. It was Jesse's lawyer. Don't worry, Miss Paula. I can't type either. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Just thank you all. Have a good evening. Stay safe out there. Absolutely, Miss Barbara. You also. We love you. Yeah, Miss Peggy says way too many books that I want. Oh, I know. And I want more books, but I've got a whole stacks and stacks of books over here that you can't see. A bookshelf full, plus stacked on the floor of books that I'll get around to reading them eventually. A lot of them are fiction, but a lot of them are true crime, nonfiction books. Thank you, Miss Standy. Yeah, Doodle says usually they do well, but not Friday. I'm telling you, it started when I should have known when I mentioned West Memphis 3 that, but anyway. Thank you, Miss Peggy. Yeah, so sweet dreams or have a good day, depending on where you are or when you're watching this. Yeah, thank you to anybody who's watching on replay. Thank you. We love our replay crew. We love our lurkers. Thank you, lurkers. Be sure to hit the like button. Anybody and everybody. Okay, Chris says, from the last case, Corrie's case, Kenneth Anderson is in a Kentucky jail. Thank you. Oh, Miss Timmy, or I can't even say Miss Timmy, Miss Barbara. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. Was that a cake? Miss Barbara's got cake. I want some cake. Wait, is it somebody's birthday? Wait, did I miss somebody's birthday? Oh, Mustang says that the same person was timed out in another channel too. Like I said, I guess it really doesn't surprise me. Like I said, I have been in chats with him, this person before, and for the most part, he's usually civil, but I don't know. But then again, I have seen him make some comments that weren't very respectful, and that's what I just, like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, you can express your opinion, you can agree to disagree, but when you start telling people that they're stupid or ignorant or don't know what they're talking about because they have a different opinion, that's not, no go. You're out. That's disrespectful. But anyway, Miranda says she feels like West Memphis 3 are guilty. That's fair. I go back and forth. I mean, I just honestly, but we'll save that for Thursday night. Absolutely. Mustang says, Doodle, thank you and all the mods. Great work in here. Absolutely. I always forget to thank all the mods, everybody who has wrenches that comes in and helps me. Thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you guys. Oh, you don't have to keep your mouth shut, Amanda. Now I call you Amanda. Miranda. I have not seen any good movies lately. I haven't been to a movie theater in I don't know how long. And I haven't really, I've got so many movies queued up or saved on my streaming like Hulu and Netflix list, and I haven't got around to watching many of them. Okay, I got you. Doodle says, usually if you mention cake in a fighting chat, it calms them down, but not Friday. I know, it just went from like 0 to 100 just like that. And I was just like, I didn't even really catch all of what was being said because there were so many comments coming up. I was trying to concentrate on the comments about the case or whatever we were talking about. And I was like, what's going on? But thank God, Miss Doodle and whoever else was there. But yeah, Miss Doodle was there to save the night. Oh, Mustang says they've been craving cherry chocolate ice cream. I can get into the chocolate, not the cherry. Chocolate ice cream sounds good. Miranda says she wished she had some cake or chocolate. I mean, me too. Paula says she has a cherry limeade in the Coke. And Cheerios. Oh, well, I can eat Cheerios just out of the, without milk. Just eat them out of the box. Of course, Miss Barb with her milk and cookies. Absolutely. Miss Peggy says, as far as movies, she just watched LBJ. That was pretty good. Also, a good documentary about Tony and Jill Curtis and the ranch they bought to save horses from slaughter. Excellent. Chocolate chips. That sounds good, Paula. Yeah, and I think that was the gist of this. What this person was, that they're what they thought was right, and anybody who didn't agree with it was stupid and didn't know what they were talking about. Anyway. Oh yeah, I saw it's on Paramount. Oh, I can watch it. I saw a commercial for it. Excuse me. I do want to watch that. So it's on. I do have Paramount Plus, so I can watch that. Excellent. I may have to do that sometime this week or this weekend because it's supposed to be raining this weekend. A nice rainy day movie to watch. There's Jocelyn. Hey, Miss Jocelyn, she's listening while working. I hope you're having a good night at work, ma'am. Good to see Miss Jocelyn. Please do check out, I don't have it up. Butterfly True Crime is Miss Jocelyn's channel. Please do check it out. I always forget about it. Just getting caught up. Miss Peggy says she only has free YouTube, Tubi, and Pluto. Oh yeah, I have Tubi and YouTube. I pay for Hulu and Paramount Plus, and then My brother pays for it because we have Verizon, and with the Verizon package we have, for just like $10 extra a month, we get Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and something else. So I have Disney Plus too, but he pays for that. So, and then he pays for Netflix. So we kind of share passwords. Shh, don't tell anybody. We share passwords so we can all watch. All right. Just getting caught up. Thank you, Miranda. Says she's going night night. Everyone take care. Stay safe. Thank you, Miranda. We love you too. Paula says she loves Paramount Plus. So do I. Yes, it's called Butterfly True Crime. Let me see. Give me 1 second. If I can get, bear with me for a minute. If I can get my YouTube to come up, I will grab that link. 1 second. One more second. Or somebody can probably grab it before, because it's not Jocelyn's profile. It's a different profile. 1 second. Come on. God, this is going to be slow. It's been working decent all night, and now it's going to be slow. Oh, I don't think I have to click on that. Okay. There it is. There it is. One second. Copy link. All right. I can shut that down. As long as I don't shut down my StreamYard. All right. Here is Jocelyn's link. Should come up in a minute. There it is. There is Jocelyn's link to her channel. That's about all I have. Well, like I said, I have Tubi, which is free. Oh, I do have Vudu. They have some free, and then I have bought, when they're on sale, some movies from Vudu. Yeah, there's Miss Jocelyn's link. You're very welcome. Miss Doodle says she saved it. Far says she subscribed to Josh. Doodle subscribe. Thank you. You're very welcome, ma'am. Oh, I forgot to turn on my camera. You're very welcome. All right, guys. So like I said, hopefully we'll shoot for Thursday. Try to make it through West Memphis 3. But we'll just, you get one chance. If you act up and be disrespectful, you get timed out. If you come back and do it again, you're gonna get booted. So that's all I got to say. Anyway, Miss Timmy said, or why am I keep saying Miss Timmy? Miss Barbara. I think I need to go to bed after this. It's only 11 o'clock here. I shouldn't be goofy. All right. So until hopefully Thursday. Thank you once again to everybody. Hit the like button. If you're watching replay, leave a comment below. Share. That is the most important thing you can do. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves. We're all we have. We got to take care of each other. We don't have to be paranoid. Just be aware. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys, and I will see you soon.